I am Rami Dillon with Realty One Group Southwest in Temecula, California.
And I'm Alfred Ramirez from Impulse Capital Partners.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about, is now a good time to buy real estate? And both of our clients are asking us these questions. I have, being in real estate, obviously I have buyers who are constantly saying, hey, should I buy or shouldn't I buy? Well, for one thing, it's better than putting money in the bank, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Alfred?
Oh, yeah. If you keep putting your money in the bank and you got 50 grand sitting there, you're losing right now probably about $4,000 a year.
And why is that?
Why? It's because of inflation.
Right, that's
inflation,
right. Okay. Right.
Inflation is deflating your money.
Right. So real estate is a good hedge against inflation right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Especially right now because inflation's so high. So if you're sitting on equity right now, that's actually gaining. So if you have $50,000 equity, you're gaining probably about $4,000 a year in equity. So that's gaining on top of your regular appreciation.
Right. So you're basing that on the fact that the dollar is also deflating. Right.
Yeah.
So you're adding that into that.
So you need more dollars to buy your property now, which increases that value.
Okay. Right. So now, but people still need a place to live. So if I'm
rent,
you're right. No, but I mean,
eventually you're not going to be able to rent.
Right. But if I'm buying a house to live in, does it really matter if the house prices are going up or they're going down?
No, I mean, right now is the perfect time to buy. If you're buying to live in there, I would think right now is the perfect time to buy because you're buying because you like that property, because you love that property, that house. Well, whatever reason you're buying that property is because you love it and you're not buying it for an investment. So if it goes down in value, what does it matter? You still got to make that payment. If it was your rent payment, you would still have to make that payment.
Right.
So
you need a place to live.
Yeah.
So why not? So why not find a place to live where you're paying down the equity, and in a long term, it is still an investment, regardless of whether that price goes down or not.
It's still going to come back up.
It's going to come back up. So if you're going to buy that house to live in, or for a long period of time, you buy while if your kids are young and by the time they graduate from high school, prices may have come down and gone up a couple of times. Who knows? So in the long term, I mean you're living in the house. But what about
investments?
Yeah. So if I'm an investor,
if you're an investor, it's always a good time to buy. Depending on what you're buying for.
Right.
If you're an investor and you're buying for appreciation, I would say change your tactic and start buying for cash flow. Because appreciation is great.
Right.
But, if you could get both, hey, awesome. But in my experience, I've been doing this since 2003.
Yeah.
You're getting one or the other. You're either getting appreciation or you're getting cash flow. You're not getting both.
Well, a lot of people are seeing what's been happening in the past few years. So, I mean, during the pandemic, certain places in the country, home prices went up about 27%. I think even some places like, I don't know, maybe Idaho, or what was I was reading, like 30%.
I think Idaho, Arizona and Texas gone up like 50% or something like that.
Right. So that's what they're seeing, and a lot of folks haven't seen a crash or a pullback or anything in the past 14 years or so.
Yeah, especially the millennials, huh?
Right. So, and
seen that yet.
And the millennials, in fact, that's a big population of buyers right there.
Oh yeah.
And they're not. A lot of them aren't even getting into a house because the competition is so fierce.
No.
But
they're waiting for the crash.
Yeah,
that they don't know about.
Right, exactly. Well, what's interesting is a lot of the analysts are saying this year, 2022, home prices are going to go up conservatively about 10%.
That's what inflation is.
Right. Well, aggressively about 17%.
Well, yeah. If you actually look at shadow stacks, your actually inflation rate is about 20%. You're just looking at the federal rate, which is they're just comparing the dollar. So the dollar's inflating around 10%.
So you're saying regardless, you're just watching out, hopefully, because the dollar's deflating, inflation may be going up. So as an investor, buying right now for appreciation purposes is a little risky. But now, what if I rent the place out and I've got cash flow? What do you think of that?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter. I mean, well, of course you want it to appreciate, but I mean, it doesn't matter if the property value goes down because you're not making that payment. Your renters are making that payment, and you're cash flowing off of, maybe $500, $300, whatever you want to cash flow off of that property.
Right.
So what does it matter if the property value drops to 50? That just means your next property you're going to buy, you're going to be cash flowing even more because you're going to get that second one for cheaper.
Right. It's for less. So it's while it's crashing, you're buying another investment property. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So getting someone to rent right now, it doesn't seem to be an issue. Rent is, in fact, is more expensive than purchasing a home. So I mean, whether you're
and it's going to get a lot more expensive.
Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? Right. And so, for cash flow purposes, it's still a great deal. Doesn't matter when you buy, and in fact, just buy another one and another one and another one, and just keep
buying them as long as you're cash flowing off that property. Keep buying them.
Okay. All right. So to sum it up, if you're going to live in the property,
it's perfect time to buy.
But if you're going to
buy for appreciation, I'd wait.
It's risky.
Yeah.
Okay. Your opinion, wait.
Yeah. In my opinion, I would never buy for appreciation.
We're not going to stop you from doing it, but you have to be aware that it's a bit of a risk. We've been going up in value since 2008, and everyone's waiting for the crash, and it hasn't quite happened yet. But we do. But you know what? Why haven't we crashed? So you were mentioning something about the government.
You got the government kicking your can down the road. I mean, they keep stimulating the economy. I mean, okay, take an example, what is the EIDL loans and the PPP loans, that put a huge injection of cash flow for investors that went after those loans, like myself.
Right.
I got about, $40,000 for one company, another $15,000 for another company.
Right.
So I used that and reinvested it into more property. So bigger companies that have been doing it longer than I have, they got even more money.
They got way more money than the smaller guys. In fact, a lot of the smaller folks didn't get some of that stimulus money, the loans
because
and so they closed. A lot of them closed.
Yeah.
So a lot of the during the pandemic, a lot of the businesses that went out of business. So what Alfred means is, so when he's kicking the can down the road, he's saying that the government did a lot of stuff to stop the economy from crashing. So there's usually, if you look at a lot of the crashes we've had, there's always a trigger. Last time was the wonderful loans that we got, or anybody could get, as long as you had a pulse. And that's what caused the crash. Yeah. So kicking the can down the road.
You still got your hard money loans too. They're still doing that same stuff.
Right.
And what do you think? Right now, a lot of the majority of the buyers, a lot of I would say a good 10-20%, if not more, of the buyers in the market right now are investors.
Right.
You know. So I mean, if these guys can't afford it, I mean, there's a lot smarter investors out there nowadays. But I mean, I got loan products that don't care whether you have reserves or not.
So those type of loans are back again, is what you're saying.
They've been around. They never went anywhere. They just, it turned, instead of being a subprime loan, they converted them into, they just changed the definition and called them hard money loans.
Right. So they're still available.
Yeah.
But they're not available like they were last time for everybody and anybody.
No, not
right.
For
so that's the difference.
Only for investment property.
Right. So that's the difference. Correct. Before we would give them to everyone.
Everybody.
So the can right now could have been, for example, when the pandemic happened, a lot of businesses went out of business. A lot of landlords were affected because of all the moratoriums on paying rent, where a lot of renters didn't have to. In fact, there's a lot of landlords that are stuck right now. Even just look at LA County.
Yeah,
there's still a moratorium there, and a lot,
they can't get
their money. But the landlords still have to pay the mortgage. So all this, is being kicked down the road. Yeah. That's what Alfred meant. So, is there going to be a crash? There might be a pullback. Definitely people are expecting something like that.
Yeah, well, you got increasing interest rates. Okay, the only way the Fed really has to control inflation is interest rates.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen with interest rates? Okay, if you don't buy now, interest rates are going to go up.
They're already going up.
And they're going to go up. I mean, they're supposed to go up tomorrow. But they're supposed to go up another 2 times this year.
Right.
So they're going to go up even higher. So if you don't buy now, by the time you buy, that means the less you're going to be able to afford because the higher payment.
You're going to lose some buying power. Roughly close to $50,000 for every 1% that the interest rates go up. That's how much buying power you lose. So yeah, definitely, if you want to live in a house, and if you can, get into one right now, it's definitely a good time.
Yeah.
Appreciation wise,
you can get into one right now for what, a little as 3%. I mean, there's FHA programs that even have. I mean, right now California has grants that will pay your down payment for you.
Right. The Cal half allowance and so forth. Right. So it's still a great time if you're going to live in it. Investing for appreciation, it's a little risky. But you can still get lucky. You can still get lucky.
Roll that dice.
Yeah, but definitely for cash flow purposes.
Yeah,
it's always good.
Cash flow is always good.
Right.
Any time of the year.
Yeah. So there you have it. Did we answer your question? I think we did. It depending on what you want to do with that property. You're going to live in it. You're going to invest in it.
Yeah.
So if there's anything else you folks want to hear, or
put it in the comment box.
Put it in the comments box. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we'll talk about everything under the sun about real estate. And we hope to see you guys here next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.